Welcome to my channel where history gets weird. Today we're premiering an all-new historical horror story. When the Bases Were Loaded, Beethoven's Rehearsal from Hell. Based on True Quirks 116. Featuring John Patrick Hayden as the wild-haired, ink-stained, occasionally deaf Beethoven, who is really losing his mind today. Count Ferdinand von Kesselkoph, a regular at Beethoven's concerts, played by Patrick wherever he goes. There's a party. Here's Schuppanzigh, Beethoven's portly friend and violinist, played by our intrepid producer, Sam. And finally, 4 members of the bass section who are sick of Beethoven's crap, played by Sam, Patrick, and 2 of our interns. Vienna, 1807. A rehearsal for Beethoven's 4th Symphony is going terribly. One of the basses grabs a page from Beethoven's score and begins to rewrite their part for the finale. In addition to the standard double bass parts, they add a belching motif. Like in Beethoven's 2nd Symphony, a farting glissando, inspired by Beethoven's frequent gastrointestinal jokes and a sudden boo. Because Beethoven loved a good prank, as well as a massive BRRAAAAP POOM at the climax. Maestro Beethoven is conducting furiously, though he can't hear a thing. The Count is leaning over, whispering to the Baroness about how he plans to ruin Beethoven's hearing completely so he can never conduct again. The basses erupt in noise. BRRRAAAAP. The Count jumps and spills wine down his ruffled shirt. Schuppanzigh is laughing so hard he breaks a violin string. Beethoven is furious, but when he sees the Count's humiliated face, he grins. Got him. He is surrounded by musicians who are exhausted after hours of rehearsal. And this is the mysterious opening chords of the symphony. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Now play it. Count it again. He shouts over his own deafness. The cellos lack menace. It is not menacing enough. They must play it 20 times before it is right. And then when he is finally satisfied, he waves them through the piece. And now we need a coffee break. Beethoven announces, counting out exactly 60 beans, that he will brew his perfect coffee. Look, buddy, if you want to make an example of someone, pick someone else. I am not that guy. But your playing can still be dark and soggy, Beethoven says, as he knocks over his inkwell into Schuppanzigh's lap. The ink stains the expensive breeches purple. Schuppanzigh yelps, looking at Beethoven, who shrugs. Now you match your playing, dark and soggy. Everyone cheers, but mid-count. Beethoven trips over a cello and sends the beans flying. Sabotage, he accuses the first violinist. You moved my feet. I saw it in your vibrato. Schuppanzigh pulls Beethoven aside. As the rehearsal continues, the Count von Kesselkoph arrives and joins the party. As Beethoven begins the scherzo, the Count leans over to the Baroness next to him and begins loudly discussing the previous evening's soirée. Beethoven stops the orchestra. I do not play for swine, he bellows. But the Count just sneers. Your symphony is background music for my gossip, Ludwig. Then, with a wink to the Baroness, he leans back and lets Beethoven continue. But the 4 basses have heard enough. This is our chance. They begin to plot their revenge. The rest of the orchestra is getting ready for the final movement. And now, for the only time in history, please enjoy the premiere of When the Bases Were Loaded, Beethoven's Rehearsal from Hell, based on True Quirks.